On my dashboard, I also have a button that says Goal Seek by the savings percentage and another by the standard of living. What these two buttons were designed to do was if I press this one, well, you can see that under my current strategy of saving 15%, using a moderate asset allocation, I should have plenty of money to far more than exceed the legacy I'd like to leave upon my death. So I don't need to save 13% of my income. I can save far less than that and still accomplish my goal. Well, if you press Goal Seek, in theory, what it should do is tell you the savings percentage that you need to accomplish the desired legacy. Sadly, it doesn't work, and I'll explain why in a little bit. Um, it did work. Actually, I'll explain why now. GoalSeek is a pretty simple um, process in Excel, and basically my spreadsheet got too complicated and it just couldn't handle it. It as I was designing this project this summer, it did work until a certain point when it got too complicated. But I want to show you how to do the goal seek button anyway, because a lot of the things that you will do won't be as complicated as this one in terms of the math and the process Excel has to use to solve it. And goal seek is a great little function. So I'm just going to start with something simple and that's sort of like our project. So we have a salary of, let's say, 40,000. We have raises that are happening of 5%. We have a savings rate, and I'll just make that 10%. And then I'm sure we'll need other things I'll think of in a minute. And then I'm just going to track the years. I'm just typing them in, and I'm going to have Excel extrapolate a trend. This is not the same way we did it on your project because this method is not robust. And then we had age, and let's say that's 23 and 24. And so again, I'll have Excel extrapolate a trend. And then we'll be calculating our salary. The first salary will just be that 40,000. The second salary is going to be the previous year's salary times 1 plus those raises. And then I'm just going to double click to copy that down. And then my savings amount in dollars will be the salary times the savings rate. And I'll just again copy that down. And then I just want to accumulate my savings and interest. That's what I'd forgotten. I need an interest rate, the rate of return. So we'll say 8.5%. And if these deposits occur at the end of the year, then at the end of 2017, my savings would just be that 4,000. The next year, it would be the 4,000 times 1 plus the savings rate or interest rate, and then plus my deposit at the end of 2018. And then I'm going to double click to drag that down and just make that look a little bit better. So with GoalSeek, what I can do is say, let's say I want to have 100,000 by the end of 2027. If I save only 10%, and earn only 8.5%, then I don't have 100,000. I only have about 85,000. Well, GoalSeek, which is located under the Data tab and What If analysis, GoalSeek will very quickly calculate. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel. GoalSeek will very quickly calculate either what savings rate I need to use to have 100,000 here, or I could have it calculate what interest rate I need to earn to have 100,000 down here. And this isn't something I couldn't do myself. I could pretty easily just go, okay, is 11% enough? No. Is 12% enough? It's a little bit too much. So let's try 11.9%. That's a little better. But GoalSeek can just do this really, really quickly. So I'm going to change this back to 10%, and now I'm going to run GoalSeek again, or for the first time. So what if analysis GoalSeek. I want to set this cell to a value of 100,000, and then by changing the savings rate. The cell that you're changing, the changing cell, according to this, it cannot have a formula in it. And so even if it had started with equal 8.5%, or sorry, equal 10% is what it should have. Right now, I'm just my cursor's on the other tab. If it had an equal sign in front of the 10%, Excel would view that as a formula and the goal seek wouldn't work unless they've made some changes to the 2016 Excel that I don't know about. So now I'm just going to press OK. And so it has found a solution. 100,000, 12%. It's actually not quite 12%. I'm going to expand it so we can see that it does carry it out to some decimals. It just wasn't displaying them. Now, on my dashboard, I had that goal seek button that I could press and it would tell me what I needed to save to accomplish my desired legacy. So I want to do something kind of like that for this simple little example. So first I'm just going to create a button. Well, actually I'm going to do my macro first. So essentially I want to record a macro that's going to tell me what I need to save to accomplish a certain goal by the end of 2017. So go to developer and record macro, and I'll call this goal seek, but I think I already have one called that, so I'm going to just call it goal seek 1. And you know, in class and so far in my videos, I haven't put a description down here, but if I were you, I would, because if you're like me, you're going to forget what these things are designed to do. And so typing a description that explains that will help you later and will help the users of the spreadsheet later. But I'm not going to in this particular case, just because this is for demo purposes. So my macro is in the recording stage. I am going to pop over to the data what if analysis goal seek, and I'm going to tell it to set cell E17 to a value of 150,000 by changing the savings rate cell B3. And it has found an answer. I'm going to say, okay, take that answer, and then I'm going to stop recording my macro. But then now I need to put my macro onto a button. So I'll create a button from the developer tab on the insert toolbox on the developer tab. The first form control is a button, and so I'll draw my button the size I want it, and then it immediately pops up a box asking which macro do you want to put on it, and we want goal seek 1. And then you can edit your button to rename it. So I right clicked and selected edit text, and so then I'll just name it goal seek. If I press enter, it's actually going to put a new line in my button, so I just click elsewhere to turn off my button. And now if I press this, it's going to goal seek to find what savings rate I need to accomplish 150,000 in savings at the end of 2027. Well, right now my spreadsheet already shows that, so I need to just put in a different savings rate to give me a different number other than 150,000 down here, so you can see the goal seek button work. So I'm going to just press goal seek, and now it has done its job. And then I'm going to edit the macro to show you what it looks like. It's just this section down here. Don't worry about all the stuff up above. So basically, I really don't know what all this is. It just recorded that. I think you could probably delete all of this and have it work just fine. In fact, I'm going to try that. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet, change this to something else, press goal seek, and let's see if it works. Yep, we didn't need any of those lines I deleted. So my point is the goal seek macro is actually incredibly short. So it just says run goal seek. The goal is to make cell E17 150,000, and you're going to be changing cell B3. The problem with having this 150,000 hardwired into my macro is, let's say I'm using my spreadsheet to help my clients. I've got another client that comes in who has a different goal. They want 300,000 here and not 150,000. So if I pressed the goal seek macro button as it currently is, it's not going to accomplish the goal for that new client of 100, or sorry, 300,000. The only way to fix it right now would be for the user of the spreadsheet to edit the goal seek macro, which is probably not ideal. They might not know how to use macros. They don't want to have to edit a macro while their client is sitting right there. So what we need to do is design our spreadsheet to be more user friendly so they can just type in a desired goal. Goal Seek looks at that desired goal and then figures out what savings rate needs to be accomplished or needs to be used to make the desired goal equal the actual goal. So I'm going to just put I'll just put some new rows, actually a couple of new rows. And here I'll put desired goal, and I'm just going to make it 300,000. Sometimes Excel's features are really kind of annoying, like making those percentages. And then I'm going to take the difference between the desired and the actual. Oh man, I knew that didn't look like right. Desired minus actual goal. So I'm going to go desired goal minus actual goal. And I'm just going to change this to 12% so we get some different numbers. So if your client currently says 12%, by the end of 2017 they'll only have $101,874. They want $300,000. So right now their goal is $198,126 more than what they're going to achieve. So why have I done this? Because if I tell GoalSeek to make this difference between the desired goal and the actual goal 0, that means the desired goal and the actual goal are equal. And so the goal has been accomplished. I'm going to do that by just running. I'm going to show you this by just running the macro. So not running the macro, by running goal seek. I'm not going to use the button. Instead, I'm actually just going to run a goal seek situation. So what I want to do is set cell B6, which is the difference between the desired and what we'll have. I want to set that difference to a value of 0 by changing the savings rate. And it has done it. So now they should have 300,000 by the end of 2027. That's what they want to have by the end of 2027. So the difference between those two numbers is 0. So they've accomplished that goal. Why am I doing this? Because I can have this goal just in my spreadsheet so the user can type in a new goal for a different client and press goal seek and have it run for that particular client without having to edit the macro, so long as we set up the macro right the first time. And the change I need to make to the macro that we recorded is this. So go to developer, macros, edit that goal seek macro. Instead of setting the goal seek goal to 150,000 in cell E17, cell E17 being here, instead of making that my goal, instead I'm going to have it set cell B6, this one, to a value of 0. And that goal will always be 0 because a client actually, or you, the user of the spreadsheet, will actually type in the client's desired goal here. And that's used in the calculation of this cell, which is what we're now running the goal seek macro on. So I'm going to change this to a new number just so we can run the macro and see if it works. So now they want 400,000, they'll only have 300,000, so they're short by 100,000. They're going to have to boost their savings rate. If I press this new goal seek that I've changed the macro to, it should tell us the new answer. And now to get new goal seek results, all I have to do is change this number and press goal seek. And that's how I did it in my actual spreadsheet for the project. I have in my inputs tab, I have this desired legacy right here, and that information is used on my calculations tab over here. So I've got the total legacy. That's a named range coming from that inputs tab, and here is my actual value using the combination of index and match functions. And so I am doing that calculation right here. And so my goal seek macro just said set this cell to 0. But again, unfortunately, it does not work on this particular spreadsheet because my spreadsheet is too complicated. I actually think I'm gonna run I'm gonna run the macro. I'm not quite sure what it's gonna show you, but I just want to show you that it's not working, and maybe it's going to show you this one thing I want to talk about. Okay. So see, it's really, really quirky. And so what I want to do next is talk about the solver function, which is similar to the goal seek function, but it's a lot more powerful. So I'll do that in another video.